Trump is scared to death, and here are 3 reasons why. Plus, I got 2 bombshells that nobody is talking about directly. So listen to this in entirety. The first one comes down to simply Epstein. This Epstein stuff is so bad, and there's no way he can avoid it, because as much as he tries to get rid of it, it's not going to go. If he redacts those files, it's his ass. On top of that, if he goes around and tries to give any excuses, it's his ass. If the DOJ suddenly can't release him, it's his ass. But here's the thing. Even if he releases them, it's his ass. He's in trouble. A rock, a hard place, and a grizzly bear. He can't do anything about it, and he's stuck. And this, in a matter of months, could get him diminished and out the door, especially if they got anything tied to any minors. That could be absolutely destructive for him. You know why? Because if he's tied to minors and he's no longer president, Letitia James can come after him on behalf of the Empire State Striking Back. So he's afraid, very afraid. Thing number 2 he's afraid of is the gerrymandering. This has turned very poorly against him, as many Republicans told him it could. So now you have a Trump-appointed judge, a judge he appointed, judge against him in this racist-ass gerrymandering in Texas. They're in a fight back and forth. And yet, at the same time, the other states are already prepared to gerrymander in the Democratic circles. This is going to have them as a minus. If this has them as a minus and the Epstein stuff don't get them, the gerrymandering will, because there'll be enough of a vote to kick his ass out. Here's thing number 3. Thing number 3 comes down to something very simple. You see, he's a criminal. We all know he is. So he's been doing all of this grifting by the billions through him and his family. And they are busted. It is all out in the open. You know why? Because these idiots did it on the blockchain. Now, if you don't know what that is, that's some crypto stuff. Basically, simply put, the whole idea about Bitcoin and digital is to make an open ledger so that bankers, governments, and swindlers can't secretly hide money. Did you know that? You know, years ago, there was a couple of cops who caught some great big Bitcoin scammers, and they caught them feds. And the feds saw all this money, and they tried to steal it because they didn't understand it. They got caught and went to jail, too. They're going to catch Trump. They're going to catch his family going to jail, and everybody associated with every damn grift. Here's how the grift goes. Instead of just taking money under the table through his companies, and they could trace that money, right? These dummies said, we'll put money in our meme coin. So they put $100 million in the meme coin, and then they're able, through the banks, to loan free money for the meme coin. Now, why is it free money? Because what they earn in their licensing and their rents and all the stuff they get money from is going to go towards the loan. Why do it that way? Because that way they can write stuff off from taxes. This is all legal part of this. The reason they got in trouble in New York is because they were hyping up the sizes of their assets. Now, let's keep it real. And people in the real estate industry, you know this. That's not new. There's people doing that all the time. But the Trumps were just fraudulent for 50 years since his father, and they're Trumps. So therefore, they became targets. Letitia James took that ass down, and next thing you know, they were in trouble. That's why he's trying to get Letitia James, but it ain't going to work. What I'm saying is this grifting thing is absolutely been destructive to him. Because what's happened now is that now that you have all of this digital trace money to all of this stuff going out there, it is easily traceable. And the people who think they're so slick are not. They figure they're going to get away with it. They're going to get away with it. Here's the other thing. There's 3 bombshells I want to throw at you besides Epstein, gerrymandering, and the grifting. And I want you to listen to this in its entirety. It's going to blow your mind. Because something just happened that hardly nobody really notices. Doge was dismantled. Doge was dismantled. I want to tell you what that means. Because I'm the, as you guys call it, the what that means guy. Basically, what that means is that they're trying to cover up their evidence, just like them satellites that keep exploding for the last 11 months. Ooh, I wonder what they're trying to cover with satellite. So here's the thing. Doge is being dismantled, and they're trying to make these people disappear. What you need to keep an eye on from this point on is what happens to all those Doge people. What kind of accidents befall them, like Epstein's former attorney who negotiated a plea deal who suddenly died in July, or their little buddy that Epstein and Trump had with those teeny pageants who died out in, I think it was France, and died, by the same way that Epstein died. You understand? There's been some straight up gangster shit going on. And with this Doge thing, these Doge people are going to have accidents. I predict that 70% of his cabinet are going to jail because of the 30% that turns state evidence against them. There's Epstein, there's gerrymandering that's going to vote him out. And then when he's on the street, they're going to get him. They meaning what? Yes, the civil suits, but right now he's got 500, 700 court cases. So you got these three things happening, because if he has the Epstein and the gerrymandering and he's out in the streets, you got Letitia James and all of the state of New York waiting for him over the Epstein stuff, as well as some other things, the grifting. The grifting can get him in big trouble jail-wise too. There's no immunity to that shit. Here's the other thing. With Doge, who could trace back to the grifting? Who went through 30 different departments and could tie in Elon? And who was also working with Elon during the election? Watch them Doge boys. Big balls might have a big casket. And it's going to get even better. It's going to get bigger. Because I got 2 more bombshells to drop. You ready for this one? Okay, so here's an amazing bombshell that nobody talks enough in depth about. And that is the Mamdani meeting. Because, yes, MAGA's upset and Trump is scared to death that MAGA, he's losing. That's why he's talking about, I'll release the files and all this, that, and people walking away from him, both in Congress and elsewhere. MAGA is dead, and he can't do nothing about it. Nothing about it. Nothing about it. So he's been trying to do something, but I'm going to tell you what that is in a moment. That's the last bombshell. But the biggest, the up-to-date biggest bombshell is that Mamdani has his finger on the pulse of his money. He still got money in New York. Just because he lost his business, like he got partnerships money in the list. His family has hundreds of millions in New York. And they're tied in with all this grifting stuff. And the New York society. Understand, there's a lot of people can't stand him. I had this conversation in my Clarity group. By the way, I have a Zelle on my Clarity group. Click the link in the description of my video or go over to the homepage. Get in my group because it's next to nothing money right now during this season. I want you to understand, with this, I told the Clarity group, because we have 3 lives a week, and one of which I'm going to have a live tomorrow, one of which I told them, I said to them, I said, yes, New York can't stand Trump. This is true. But here's what wealthy people don't talk about. They don't talk about the fact that there's people they can't stand who are politicians, and they give money to them anyway just to leverage some power. They got a lot of power leverage over Trump. He got millions in donations for this election through people in New York. And those people picked up the phone and said, you need to stop tripping out on Mamdani because we're going to have a problem, because this guy got his hands on the pulse of all of our money in this city. Remember, out of the 900 billionaires, the majority of which live in New York. You remember that out of the 22 million millionaires, a lot of them live in New York. New York is the financial center of this country, Wall Street. There's a lot of big power players, billionaires, bro, who is like, yo, Trump, what the fuck are you doing? And they can't stand him, but they're like, listen, you don't want to mess with this guy. You know what this is similar to? Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley, he was going to send troops into San Francisco. Remember that? And he would love to send that with all those hippies. You notice he didn't send a damn anybody. He did not fuck with San Francisco. Why? Because there is a Silicon Valley, San Francisco, San Jose. There's Oakland over here, but Oakland's Oakland. But San Jose and San Francisco, you ain't about to fuck with the tech bros. You too busy building them up. That's Larry. Larry over at Oracle about to own TikTok. You ain't about to fuck with all that money. You crazy? No. So they picked up the phone. They said, hey, Trump, no, you don't send nobody here. That's what they said to him in New York. Play nice, bitch. Play nice, because if you don't, we going to have problems with you. We going to fuck up your money because he fucking up ours. You don't want to mess with Mamdani. So you got Epstein he's afraid of. You got the gerrymander he's afraid of because it could take him out of the office and make him a target both civilly and criminally because of messing around with them little girls. You have the grifting that's happening. The grifting can put him in straight up jail or all his co-conspirators, including his family members, in jail and can hit him with major lawsuits, civil suits, the whole nine. That's a fear. And then this bombshell fear is that he's definitely like super, super worried about what's going to go down with Mamdani. And, this is going to look very bad for him. This is going to be, whoa, but there's another bombshell coming that you ain't thought about this, okay? I didn't talk through all the other stuff. There's another bombshell you have not even considered. And of course, the Doge thing, breaking them down, making them disappear because they could track right back to them, all right? So that's 5 so far. Let me break the big one, and break it all down. The one thing that a lot of people have not talked about in this whole thing, pay attention step by step on this one. All weekend, he's been going off, hasn't he? On who? The Democrats. Why is he going off on the Democrats? Because the Democrats told military, if you think there's an illegal order, it is your oath and right to disobey and not do that order. It started with the National Guard going off killing people in these boats when they ain't did nothing. They get caught, they put their hands up, they caught, whatever. But they ain't trying to shoot back on military vehicles. But they didn't even get a chance to surrender. They just see the boat, boom, blow it up. International community been like, no, motherfucker, something wrong with you? You're killing people. These are not you trying to find drug dealers. And Trump is like, no, I have a right. I can kill whoever I want. That's what he said. That's his attitude. But here's the problem. The military got a problem with that. It's not just National Guard. It's the Air Force. It's the Army. It's the Marines. It's the Navy. How do we know the military got a problem with Trump? Oh, I don't know. For the first time ever in U.S. history, a president walks out to all of his generals. Nobody stands, nobody salutes, and nobody claps. Never happened in U.S. history. And he made a comment about it when he got out there. He said, oh, never came in this silent before. Like, yeah, bitch, you in trouble. You have pissed off the military. Let me tell you what military people been telling me, both retired and current, on the low. What they've been saying to me is that there has been, listen to me very carefully, this is the bombshell, and I think Trump knows it. There's been communication about coups and about standing against Trump's administration. They have been talking. And not only have they been talking, they have contingency plans for whatever motherfuckers ain't on their side. The word I heard repeatedly over and over was, we're standing by. We don't know how many are on our side, but we are standing by. But you could tell how many based upon those generals and the way they carried themselves in front of the president and Hegseth. Hegseth's a joke, and so is the president, and they don't like this shit. They ain't feeling this. You talking about attacking individuals, attacking citizens? They didn't swear no oath to that shit. Then you talking about blowing motherfuckers out in the middle of the Caribbean who ain't did anything? Yeah, they trying to, struggle. If they are really drug, smugglers, you just catch them, put them in jail, take the drugs. But instead, you just blow them out the sky. And now you're getting ready to start a war with Venezuela? Do you know there are 100,000 paramilitary troops on each side in Brazil and Colombia? They can't wait to jump in this war. You are setting this shit off. Plus, you trying to start shit with Colombia. You talking crazy to Brazil. You've already been talking crazy to Mexico. So you can have side wars just like you did with Iran to get people to ignore that there was 5 million people in this country that were protesting at the No King's Day on June 14th. And your military parade in D.C. looked like bullshit. So you said, I might bomb Iran. It's narrative warfare. I teach that in the Clarity group, which the link is in the description and over on the home page. I teach that every Tuesday with replays. It's narrative warfare. In other words, it's warfare in your mind. What comes out of Trump's mouth is he's trying to get you to feel a certain way, not think. He is psyops trying to do it. He's an idiot savant, but the interest is on savant, and he's afraid right now because the military could get his ass because he wants them to stand with him. He wants them to go out and arrest and push people around. That's why I've been telling you for the longest, all during this year, I've been saying he's not an autocrat, fascist, or dictator. Be careful of the words you give to people. If you don't believe me, say what you're saying about Trump now in Russia, Iran, Argentina. Say it over in North Korea. Say it in Vietnam. Say it over in China. I got a friend who's an expat over in Vietnam. He's like, Vietnam's a wonderful place, but you can't say what you want to in America. I'm like, oh, really? Say what you want to in Vietnam. See how that works. See how that works. You cannot do that. So he's a wannabe, and the reason he's a wannabe is because of the structure of our country. Most people don't understand the operation, laws, and structure of our country. That's why he's unsuccessful. What most people don't understand is he lost 70% on the lower courts, and only 1% can go to the Supreme Court. So what does that do when you have 500 and 700 cases that are out there? That means the majority of them are going to be lost. You have a history right now of 40. We just survived 43 weeks. We're in the 44th week of Trumpism. We got another 164 weeks to go. And here's the good news of that. Out of that, we've had majority wins on the Lord that you can't take the majority of that shit up to the Supreme Court. And that's why they didn't take on gay marriage. They're like, we can't do it. It's only 9 of us is too much. Understand. And not only has he flooded the courts with this bullshit and this illegality across the board, he's also put himself in a position where he's had Trump appointed. Like I just said with the gerrymandering in Texas, Trump appointed. There's been hundreds of judges who are Trump, Reagan, both Bushes, as well as Democratic judges who have ruled against this fool. He has created a shitstorm so much, and he knows he has. He's in big fear because he knows everybody's coming for him. He knows that if he fucks up on this Epstein, which he is, he's good, most likely out the door. He knows as well that his play towards gerrymandering was the dumbest move ever, and now they're getting ready to catch it. He knows for a fact that this grifting is going to catch up with him. But he thought all these years he's got away with stuff, and frankly, he has. He's been a very slick character. But his slickness ends. It's ending now. It's coming up, okay? Here's the other thing he's done. Excuse me, I'm messing with the lighting here so I can get this going a little bit. Another thing he's done that has been absolutely incredible is that he has got Doge to go out there. And I told people for years, I said, listen, let me tell y'all something. Y'all think Elon is this genius. He is not a genius. He is not a genius. See, I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years, run my own businesses in branding and marketing, 30 years experience. And I've learned something about successful people. They do certain things in a certain way, but they're not geniuses. People mistake them for being genius. They are not smart people, and Elon Musk is one of them. He's pretty fucking stupid, and he's going to jail. And those Doge people are the ones who's going to send him to jail, because they're going to get the Doge boys, and then they're going to get him. Just like they get the drug dealers. They're going to get the low to mid-level to take out the kingpin, to take out the plug, the spot. What I'm trying to tell you right now is that these motherfuckers have straight up played this in a way that has caught them up in the game. And so Doge is in trouble. And now you have this whole thing with Mamdani in trouble because he has his posts his finger on the post to fuck you up. And the final part about that that's absolutely brilliant is that he's on outs with the military. He's scared. He's big scared. And he should be, because this man is going down. Now watch my next video.